Consider the unwavering beacon, a sentinel against the encroaching night, illuminating paths and guiding weary vessels. Its purpose is clear, its function undeniable, a testament to diligence, a safeguard for those who navigate the treacherous currents. But what if this very dedication, this steadfast commitment to an intrinsic good, inadvertently becomes an obstruction to another entity whose existence thrives in the obscured, the uncertain, the veiled? Can an act of pure, selfless service simultaneously be an act of profound, existential threat? This is not a question of malice, but of inherent conflict, when two forces, each pursuing its own survival or purpose, find their paths irrevocably intertwined, where one's triumph necessitates the other's diminishment. Is virtue absolute, or is its impact always relative to the observer's circumstance? High above the tumultuous, churning waves, stood the lighthouse. Its granite base, scoured by centuries of salt and wind, anchored it to the craggy cliff. Inside, a complex mechanism of gears and lenses revolved with relentless precision, channeling a powerful, unblinking beam of light across the vast, indifferent ocean. The lighthouse did not choose its role, it simply was the light, a silent testament to unwavering diligence, its purpose etched into its very being, to dispel the shadows, to reveal the hidden dangers, to guide ships safely to harbor. Its existence was a constant, tireless act of giving, a beacon of hope for all who sailed the perilous waters. Yet, far below, clinging to the cold embrace of the ocean's surface, lived the ancient mist. It was a fluid, ethereal entity, born from the collision of warm currents and cold air, and its very nature was to obscure, to soften the sharp edges of reality, to weave a shroud of mystery across the world. The mist found sustenance in the vastness, in the quiet confusion it sowed, in the way it blurred the horizon and muffled the sounds of the world. It was not malicious, it simply was the veil, and its existence relied on the absence of clarity, the gentle diffusion of light. For generations, the lighthouse and the mist coexisted in a delicate, often tense, balance. The lighthouse would pierce through the lighter tendrils of the mist, scattering them momentarily, asserting its dominance. But in the deepest, densest fogs, the mist would rise, thick and suffocating, swallowing the lighthouse's beam whole, transforming it into a muted, impotent glow. This ebb and flow was the natural order. One epoch, the lighthouse, driven by an inherent, almost genetic urge for absolute clarity, began to intensify its output. Its gears whirred faster, its light pulsed with a new, searing brilliance, determined to cut through any obscuring force. It poured every ounce of its being into its task, believing its increased diligence would bring greater safety, clearer paths for all. Its beam stretched further, brighter, hotter, pushing back the encroaching grayness with unprecedented vigor. The mist, however, felt this increased intensity as a direct assault on its very being. Where once it could absorb and diffuse, now it was being actively dissolved, fragmented into wisps that evaporated before they could coalesce. Its ancient patterns of gathering and spreading were disrupted. Its essence, the very obscurity it embodied, was under threat. The brighter the lighthouse shone, the more the mist receded, weakening, its substance thinning with each passing night. One storm-racked evening, as a desperate ship fought against the surging waves, its captain straining for a glimpse of the shore, the lighthouse unleashed its most potent beam yet. It was a magnificent, almost painful display of pure, undiluted light. But the mist, pushed to its breaking point, made a final, desperate stand. It gathered every remaining particle of its being, every lingering wisp of vapor, and lunged directly at the source of its torment. It was not an act of aggression, but of self-preservation. It swirled around the mighty lamp, not to extinguish it, but to absorb its essence, to neutralize the force that was annihilating it. The light, so brilliant and unyielding, met the dense, desperate surge of the mist. There was no explosion, no violent clash. Instead, a profound silence descended. The heat of the beam, meant to cut through, instead superheated the concentrated mist. The water vapor, too dense to dissipate, became a mirror, reflecting the lighthouse's immense energy inward. The gears of the lighthouse, overtaxed by their own amplified output and now facing an impenetrable barrier, began to grind. The light flickered, then dimmed, and with a final, shuddering groan, the intricate mechanism ceased entirely. The intense heat, trapped within, caused the lenses to crack, and then shatter. The lighthouse, a monument to unyielding diligence, fell into darkness, its purpose consumed by the very force it sought to conquer. The mist, having fulfilled its desperate act of survival, eventually dissipated, leaving behind only the cold, impenetrable night, and a silence where once there had been light and a persistent, ethereal veil. This profound silence, this unexpected failure, forces us to confront a difficult truth about purpose and consequence. The lighthouse, driven by an admirable diligence, sought only to clarify and guide. Yet, its unwavering commitment to its own truth, its inability to perceive the legitimate existence of the mist, led to its own undoing. We often champion virtues like diligence, conviction, and clarity as universally good, yet fail to recognize that in a world teeming with diverse forms of existence, one's good can be another's existential threat. The lighthouse's selfishness lay not in malice, but in its blind pursuit of its own perceived optimal function, without acknowledging the intricate, interdependent ecosystem of life and purpose. This narrative mirrors human struggles, when our drive for personal success, our conviction in our rightness, or our relentless pursuit of an ideal fails to account for the equally valid, albeit different, needs and realities of others. The outcome can be mutually destructive, leading to a profound, shared darkness. Thus, Filiarium reminds us, even the brightest light can create the deepest shadows, especially when it refuses to acknowledge the subtle, legitimate needs of the world it illuminates. True wisdom lies not just in shining, but in understanding what else needs to breathe in the dark.